districts, high school principals, and superintendents of districts with high schools. We're going to talk today about the Career and College Ready Index, the CCRI, which, as you know, is 20% of the new formula for grading high schools. And in the future, if all goes reasonably well this first year, many advocates will try to increase the CCRI to 25% in future times. So the requirement this year is that high schools report this data on an individual student basis. Now, as we go forth in the future, the Department of Ed will try more and more to collect this data on its own. But right now, ADE has maybe 6 or 7 indicators available that it currently collects. So the first year, the responsibility falls on schools to collect this data. Now, before you gasp or complain or curse, consider the alternative. The alternative is adding 20% of the weight in the formula to an AZ merit test, which our high school students are not highly motivated to undertake. So, how do you proceed? Well, the Department of Ed will be sending, we're hoping in the reasonably near future, a spreadsheet with all the categories loaded in. And then that would require you to enter students and their SACE number, and then check boxes in certain categories. And once you check those boxes, for example, if a student met the cut score on the ACT test in English, you would indicate that and a point value would be assigned. Don't wait, get moving on this data collection now. So you can start with a list of your 2017 graduating seniors. Add in their SACE numbers. As you begin to calculate this data, remember a few things. AP scores are generally reported in July, but you do know which of your seniors actually took AP courses. So you'll know that's some data that you have to wait on. Grades will be reported before the school report cards are turned in. When I'm talking about grades, I mean the grades for your schools and your districts. The school report cards will be done in December. So we're looking likely at grades for schools and districts to be done in October or November. Now, they're going to want that data from you in probably, they initially thought June, but now they know the AP scores aren't in until July. They're probably thinking July or early August. You need to get going on this right away. So think about this. You've got your list of kids, their SACE numbers. You've got the rubric in your hand. So you start down the list. Here's Madeline. For example, Madeline has earned a proficient on the AZ merit in Algebra 2. So she gets 0.5, a half a point on that. And Madeline is proficient in English 2 as well, another half a point. So now she gets 1 blue point for those 2 proficients. On the scale, that's 10 points. Now, Madeline is a college-bound student, and guess what else she's done? She's earned her 4 credits of math, her 4 credits of English, her 3 credits of science, her fine arts credit, her 2 credits of foreign language. In other words, if you go way down to the bottom of the rubric, you'll see, in fact, she is ready. She's qualified on the Arizona Board of Regents to go to NAU, ASU, or the U of A. She's university bound. Well, that's another blue point. So Madeline has earned 2 blue points. That's 20 points on the rubric. So Madeline is great. She's a 20-point student. Now you run into Herman from the Munsters. Now Herman has that spike in his head, and that has hurt Herman a little bit. And so Herman took 4 years in PE, and he won the school weightlifting championship, but he didn't take any foreign language, and he didn't like CTE. He didn't get along with Robert, the CTE instructor, so he dropped all those courses. And so Herman has no red points, and he has no blue points. And you go on down the list and you see he didn't take the ACT, he didn't take the SET, he didn't take AccuPlacer, he's got, as I said, no CTE courses. Herman earns 0 points. But you got to put that on the list, because we're going to add up all the points the kids earned. We're going to divide it by the number of students, and we're going to get our average. So Herman looked great in his yearbook shot with his spike all polished, but he didn't get you any points. Now we come to Jorge. Jorge completed a CTE sequence. That's the very second one on the list there. And he passed the technical skills assessment. So he gets 1.25 points, red points. And lo and behold, you discover when he was taking that CTE sequence that 2 of those CTE courses were dual enrollment courses. And he passed those dual enrollment CTE courses, so he gets 0.5 for each one of those. So that's another red point. So Jorge gets 2.25 red points. But he doesn't get any bonus points, because the only way you get a bonus point is if you earn one of those points as a blue point for academic and one of those points as a red point for career. So 1 point for college ready, 1 point for career ready. That's the only way you get bonus points. But Jorge, with his 20 points, not 22, gets 20 points. The maximum any student can get is 22. The minimum, as Herman has showed us, is 0. So far I've got 3 kids in my high school class. Madeline 20, Herman 0, Jorge 20. So I've got 3 kids in class earning 40 points. 3 into 40 is... A few final concluding remarks. The cut scores for many of these items, such as the ASVAB, the ACT, the SAT, and so on, will be available from the State Board of Ed, I'm guessing within a week or so. Finally, there are 4 scores available for each student. Those are 0, as we saw with Herman. Those are 10 for a student who gets 1 point. Those are 20 for a student who gets 2 points. And 22 for a student who gets 1 red and 1 blue points. There are no fractional scores available in between. And finally, the chart I have been referencing, which is available on the attached document, still references 7.5 and 15 points. That was designed when the CCRI was intended to be 15% of the overall formula. But the state board at its meeting upped it to 20%. So disregard the reference to 7.5 and 15%. Those are now 10 and 20. So again, 4 scores available: 0, 10, 20, and 22. If you have further questions on this, which undoubtedly there will be dozens of them, you can email them to me and I will try to get answers from the State Board of Ed, from Calvin Baker of Vail, who knows this as well as anybody, or from other individuals who are studying this as well. Because together we will make this work for our students and for our schools. It's a real opportunity to make A through F work for Arizona.